Oh my goodness. It's happening. We're live.
We're live for the first time
It's
in
been
how
a
long?
while. I know. I can't even make technology work. So if this cuts out, I'm cutting bait and you've got enough people tonight, but I'm doing the best I can.
But
Hello.
man,
How are you?
oh man, I hate. I have to admit, I
Mhm.
wish I was still in Mercosm with, or just over there with everyone. Still, yeah. What can I say? I mean, it's as you can tell, I got in the pool this weekend, so um, you know, had that to do. But other than that, it was cleaning up my yard from leaving it for a week.
Mhm. Good.
Yeah. And work has been completely still. So I've been watching training videos
Oh, good. So you're getting smarter. That's good. Okay.
in theory. Then they ask you those questions at the end to see if you can answer it. And then I'm like, what? I guess I'm not paying attention.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I don't know. Wow. We've got 5 people on here in it. I'm like stoked. Um, so let's see. I got comments here. Start showing them. So Jeff Harris, chicken wing. Hello, sir. So let's see. I guess we can officially kick it off. That way we can jump into the fun. But welcome to the Crack Whisper
Okay.
Club show. And this is our World's Recap edition. Probably one of several to follow because there's so many faces and so much to do and talk about and all that fun stuff that you can't really accomplish it in just one show. So, and Jeff Ray, howdy. And so Tisha Klinkenbeard, president of the Crack Whisper Club. And yeah, you're on that side, aren't you?
Ah, damn it. I always get my wrong pointy finger. I'm going to get it right this time.
And you are
Oh, I am Hackman from the Vancouver Facial Hair Club, and that's all you need to know right now.
except you're also a VP for the World Beard and Mustache.
We'll get to that. That's later talk. That's later
I
talk.
just have to say it. I have to bring it up.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm so
All
fancy.
right. And Ray Norcross. Okay, so I'm just gonna start bringing people in because we got so many people waiting in the background, and they're so much fun. We've already been talking to them, so I'm just gonna start bringing people in, and I'll tell my husband he can come back in the room too.
Hey, ladies.
So hello, Philippe.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Like I haven't talked to you
Good.
for the last 30 minutes, right?
I know, right? Long time no see.
So tell us where you're from, Philippe.
Let's see here. I am from Detroit, Michigan. I actually live in East Point, which is 9 Mile in Gratiot, which is a mile from Detroit. So I am the president and founder of Murder City Facial Hair Crew. And yeah, I usually compete in the mustache category. Got my start in freestyle beard though. So and then at Worlds I competed in the dolly category as well. So and I usually the bigger competitions I always compete dolly. I actually shaved the top of my mustache down like to try and get like the most authentic dolly that I could, and then I like didn't even place, like not even close. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I tried, but
All
yeah.
right. Next we have Wayne and Stacy. You guys want to say
Hey.
hi?
Hi. So we're Wayne and Stacy Patmore.
And we're damn glad to be here.
From Celestine, Indiana, part of the Hoosier Beard Alliance.
I'm the president. She's the secretary, the one that actually runs the club.
All right. And then we have coming up Melissa and Patrick.
Hello, we're Melissa and Patrick Fetty from Louisville, Kentucky. We're members of the Derby City Whisker Club.
Yay.
Let's see if I can keep going here. We got Chad and Amy Roberts.
Hey, we're Chad and Amy from Richmond, Virginia of the RVA Beard League.
Then I'm going to try to do them pretty close to at the same time.
Hello, folks.
Hello.
Paul
We
and
got Paul and
David.
David here from the North Texas Beard Alliance in Fort Worth, Texas.
This is just like the dating game, or no, the
Oh.
newlywed game. Remember the newlywed game? Which means, are you going to ask us inappropriate questions, the Clinkin Beards?
No.
Like they
I-
used to.
That could be fun. Let's see just how well y'all do know each other.
That could be a fun episode.
I was going to say that was probably the softest introduction I've seen of Wayne there.
So did Christine tell you not to introduce me just like you did the rest of them?
Oh, I said I was going to tell my husband to come back in, and this is my husband, Shannon Klinkenbeard.
I'll just sit here and look pretty.
Gotta have something here.
Somebody's got to do it.
Exactly. It's not me.
Oh, hi, Shannon. Really good to see you again.
Thank you.
You can, I have to admit, I saw the picture that he took of us. I'm leaning on your shoulder. And that gave you a sense, though, of how long a day it became. Both of those days. I have to admit.
Oh, what is
So I got a story about it being a long day. So it was Saturday, and in my off program, or can I tell the story?
I don't know
Okay.
what your story is.
So it was Saturday. Of course, we'd all been through Friday already, and Saturday was the style day. And there's style
What's your
beards
story
and
gonna be?
mustaches everywhere, and freestyle and stuff. So I'm sitting right next to Amy, and Chad is the only beard in the room that had a full hoop to go over his head. Pretty recognizable, okay? And we're sitting there talking, and Amy's like, "Where did Chad go? I mean, where is he at?" He was literally sitting in front of her. And she's just, "Where is Chad?" It was a long day.
She texted me, "Where are you?"
Like,
And I'm
where
like,
are you?
And then you took the
Long
selfie.
day.
Yeah,
You
you took a-
looking at the camera like, really? And she's sitting there.
Nice.
All right. So I told the audience and you guys here in the back that we just wanted to get everybody together, and you guys tell us, tell us whatever you want about what your experience was, and I don't care. You can fight over who goes first or
Well,
whatever.
like, it may be cool to hear from folks who haven't been to Worlds before and get their kind of initial impressions. And like, that'd be cool to hear, just kind of see what people thought of the whole, like, going to Worlds and being there and the setup and all that.
So who was the first timer? I think Paul
So
and David
that was-
this
Yeah.
in one.
No, our first one was Austin.
Yeah, we were virgins.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. There you go.
Yeah, Austin was our first one.
Okay. So
Okay.
you've been. So we're the only newbies.
Okay. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So what'd you think?
Well, I guess we'll go first.
It was a good time. Very impressive. The number of competitors there and from around the world, actually, to be, competing with people from Trinidad, Egypt, or Israel, Hungary, and all these other foreign places. Most I've ever competed against was Canadians.
Yeah. I think
And they're still foreigners.
The magnitude when you're there and you're looking around and you know that there's all these people representing all these countries, and it's like this really is a worldwide thing that we're all doing, and it's pretty impressive when you're all in that room together, and it's just like, wow. The other thing was the efficiency. Like they did a really, really good job of keeping things moving. I was really impressed with just the flow, and it's like, you're here to do this and this is what we're doing, and it was really, really good.
The MC really kept it under control.
No, she didn't. She did not. She lost it when I got up there.
She did an amazing job.
But that was late, in the day. But yeah, I think just the magnitude of everything was really impressive to me. Because like we've been to some nationals and stuff like that, but when you're in that world area, it's just like, dang, this is really awesome.
Yeah, I loved the camaraderie. Just everybody. There were no color lines. There were, it was just everybody was just getting along with each other and learning from each other, and the camaraderie was like the biggest thing for me. I just really enjoyed that.
And so, because we talked about it when Amy was on our show a couple of months ago, we talked about this, or Chad was on, I can't remember, but the difference between what you experienced in Austin, having just gone to Austin and then coming to Europe for a comp. What do you feel kind of about that difference? Because to me, it was a different feel, even from Belgium. It was still a different feel.
It's the first time that I'd experienced the live scoring, and it was in the audience. It was fun, like as audience members, because then like just the reactions. It's like, I mean, like I remember Shannon's scoring was so funny because like it was like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 9.8. And so the whole audience was like, or you could tell if the audience like
and everybody heard that.
Yeah,
everybody.
And then like you could tell if the audience like didn't agree with the judges for a certain person, they'd be like, like okay. Like it was interesting to get that feedback from the crowd with the scoring. I'd not experienced that. And then the tiebreakers, obviously the live tiebreakers were like awesome. I loved watching the tiebreakers too. So that's the first time I'd ever been to like where they do the paddle scoring, which was really cool.
Yeah, and the crowd reaction to those, a groan apparently is any language wide because everybody understood,
Right.
Yeah.
I'd have hated to have been a judge though, having to, you lose your anonymity when you have to hold up the score in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I did paddle judging in St. Louis one year, but we didn't get to see them individually before we scored. We were supposed to score them as they're walking, first time around, and I was like, I hated it. I absolutely. So when I heard we're gonna have paddle scoring, I was like, oh, please not before what are you doing on my computer?
I'm trying to.
It didn't bother me none with the paddle scoring because I competed at St. Louis several times with it, so it didn't bother me there. Paddle scoring.
It was just hard as a judge because we didn't get to see them individually and then score like they did, in Germany. So that I was relieved to see that at least it was handled a little bit differently. So.
Yeah, I think it would be very hard as a judge just to be able to keep everything together and make sure you're holding up the right one for the right person.
Oh yeah, it's hard picking.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with it sometimes.
No, I wanted to hug the cute little old lady at the end because that was the only 10 I got, and I'm like, I love you.
I had the opposite feelings of her, but that's fine.
Yes.
Me too.
Like she was such a
the only love I got.
Everyone would be like 10s, and she'd be like 8.5. I was like a 7.
Well, a couple of times everybody would do their paddles, and then she'd go. What everybody else did, she
So
picked
what I'm
paddles up.
saying is she probably didn't mean to hold it up. She just got lost.
I do think it would have been neat to know like the judges that we didn't know, like kind of like their background and like where they kind of came from, what their experience was, because obviously we knew the people, you know, from the US and their experience, but didn't really, you know, have a clue where the other judges were from or what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
didn't even
for the
introduce them,
background
did they?
the judges for Worlds. It's just
I
like,
don't
these
think
are the
so.
people day of.
Yeah.
Right.
Did they not give bios at the beginning? I missed the beginning.
No, they didn't.
Mm-mm.
Well, if they did, they were
They-
German.
Yeah, I don't think they gave names even. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, welcome our
Anonymity.
judges.
But all in all, I think it was a fantastic event. Though.
Yeah.
Like it ran
Yeah,
so
it was great.
smooth. Like
Yeah.
Agreed.
I was impressed. Like
Yeah.
I've been to big comps, and some run smooth and some don't. And this was definitely one of the more smooth comps that I've been to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Christian was working his butt off behind the scenes, behind the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The MC was amazing. She kept
Yeah.
things rolling.
Yeah, she was great.
Hey, do they
She
not
the
wear?
first day and didn't think it was a real thing. Her outfits got progressively fancier.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Or she's in like ripped jeans and a t-shirt, and then she's like, "Oh, I should probably do it up a little." Like, oh.
What she
And
saw
she realizes
was-
she's in like newspapers and online, and she's like, "Oh."
Yeah.
But she is so cute. We got ice cream together. We're basically best friends.
She's the guy. The second day, the guy that went on stage with the child, the little girl.
Yeah.
That was her husband and her daughter.
Oh.
Yeah, like
Oh, really?
really wanted to go on stage. Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were standing right next to me
Thing.
up
Yeah.
on stage. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, when we did the parade on Sunday, they were all right in the same kind of cluster we were in, walking.
Nice.
I don't remember actually being behind stage. It's not in my memory bank. I don't know if it
It was
was
real
that
fast.
nervous, but I don't remember being backstage.
Oh.
You know, it was so weird because when we were backstage, the first group was on. And so, like, I'm trying to watch it to see how it's running. And then all of a sudden, they're like yelling my name. I'm like, what? I feel like the first group was still on stage.
Yeah.
But I you know, it was still very different from Antwerp, and in a lot of respects, I was so glad to see the ladies in the same day as the men's.
Yeah.
You know, that was awesome. That to me was really very cool.
I think it's huge, huge strides for the recognition and acceptance of the Whiskerinas on the world stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you have one right here in our midst that has made history by being the first woman elected to the World Beard and Mustache Association board.
Yay.
That is pretty awesome.
That is so cool.
It's very
Her,
cool.
along with Aaron D. Johnston, are the new vice president.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's going to be really interesting in Pittsburgh for all of the competitors from the other parts of the world to see how many ladies are really going to be there in Pittsburgh.
Oh, God.
I-
There'll be a bunch.
It's going to be
Yeah.
enormous.
I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was going to be big in New Zealand when they had it, because New Zealand and Australia have a ton of ladies too.
Mhm.
And it's always big in England too. Like the British nationals have strong Whiskerinas as well.
Okay.
So I hope a lot of them can come over to Pittsburgh and compete, because I didn't see a lot of like non-American ladies in Berghausen. I thought was interesting. Now, like I know one of them, like a couple of them have new kids and like things like that, but I hope that they can make it to Pittsburgh, because I think it's going to be a crazy strong group of ladies in Pittsburgh. It'll be interesting to see what categories they choose to line up for Pittsburgh, because there's just going to be a lot of women, I think.
Yeah.
No pressure, like now. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Start now, girls.
Yeah. And I think
2 years.
I think Sandgrow and I think the Blackpool will probably do the classic four, the like, you know, realistic beard and mustache and creative beard and mustache. I think that's what they'll do. But it should be a big showing for them as well, because they do have a lot of ladies that normally compete. Like when I went to British Nationals both times, I mean, there's easily a dozen ladies in the categories. Like it was just, and I think I was the only American. No, Natalie. So just two Americans, and everyone else was British. So I'm hoping they can come over, because they are as equally competitive. So it was sad to not see as many of them in Berghausen. I'm not sure what worked out for that. I don't know if it was the same issue with me where there was no creative category. So it was kind of like. So
it will be interesting.
I know Pittsburgh's not going to have that issue.
It will be interesting to see how many people come over from England for the one in Pittsburgh, because it's 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword.
Come see us. Come help us celebrate.
Who want to come over for 4th of July anyways, just to see what it's like, and that their impression is that we're like burning British flags and shit. And we're like, no, we're just like grilling hot dogs.
You guys don't do that?
Fireworks off. Like, yeah, it's not really like
charcoal,
British.
propane, fireworks. That's it.
Yeah.
Shooting guns. Oh, you guys shoot guns in the air too, right? Is that not just a Detroit thing?
Directly above you, so it lines right back up and then go. Yeah. Physics.
I usually try to leave town 4th of July weekend because I don't want to get shot. Just kidding. Sort of.
Well, and I know a lot of this is about the craft stuff, but that was the one thing for me. I did my one and only realistic for my lifetime. If I check, it's done. I did that, and so creative's definitely definitely my deal. But man, that's thinking that perspective is like with all the ladies from the British, and then going 27 is going to be in England, absolutely no pressure. Thanks.
You look darling, Clink. I saw you and I got so nervous.
and you did it. You got out of your comfort zone and you did it.
Like I said, I don't remember being backstage, but so it's over there on my board.
Well, I was wondering what you keep looking at over there.
Oh, yeah, it's right there.
What is?
My mustache and goatee.
Oh, okay.
It's over there. That's where they went.
On the wall of fame.
It's kind of the wall of goatees, actually.
Patrick, you need to not talk so much so everybody else has a chance. Five-time world champion.
With a
English
perfect score.
With a perfect score.
I didn't want to talk about my views on paddle scoring. It's like, I love paddle scoring.
I don't even have to math.
Right? Dude, I've seen paddle scoring 3 times, and twice I've got perfect scores when they paddle scored. So I love it. So yeah. Now I will say we're talking about the difference between Austin and Antwerp and now Berghausen. The biggest thing for me when they have these competitions, the world competitions in a smaller town like Berghausen or in 15 in Leogang, is that all the beards converge and everybody, if you see a beard, you know why they're in town. So you can see somebody and you're like, hey, and then you go get a drink with them or go get a meal with them and you meet more people that way. When it was in Austin, it's a big city. Everybody's staying different places. You might run into somebody and say, oh, hey, you're here for the beard competition? And they're like, what in the world are you talking about? Like, I live here. Leave me alone. I definitely like the feel of Berghausen from that aspect. Every place that it's been that I've been to has been wonderful, but I like the small town feel.
Overrunning city.
Yeah. It'll be totally different in Pittsburgh and Blackpool for sure.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Blackpool is like, trying to describe Blackpool, I'm like, it's kind of like Ocean City, New Jersey, or like Atlantic City, like there's a big boardwalk. It's very much a like tourist town, but it's super walkable. It's small, but like built up in that you can walk anywhere in 5 to 10 minutes, but there's like a casino and an aquarium, and they have Blackpool Tower, which is like this tower you can go up that has like a glass floor, and like you can look all around, and like the venue in Blackpool is insanely beautiful. It's gorgeous. So yeah, it'll be a different feel, but I have a feeling it'll be similar to Berghausen in that if you see a Beardo, they're probably here for the same reason.
The people at Berghausen really seem to love having us there too. Like everywhere we went, they knew what we were there for, and they were thrilled. Like
we made some enemies while we were there, but
mostly the pizza restaurant.
Yeah.
So they were all like located in one area.
What did you do in that restaurant?
The owner of the beer garden tapped that keg for us. I thought he was just, I thought he was just, talking, shooting the, but he did it. I was like, all right.
The mayor was insistent that I meet his wife, so that was fun.
Yolande went to a DJ's house, and the DJ just like, what happened?
Oh god.
I found the whole town to be like something out of an old time Bavarian movie. It was almost like being on a movie set to me almost, because it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a story.
You don't see those kind of villages in the United States, so it was like something out of a movie to me. And we found
stone courtyards and just everything.
Yeah.
The age of all the buildings.
Yeah.
And the craftsmanship. Yeah.
And then vending machines with a dozen eggs and a pound of butter.
Yeah.
and garlic bread.
I loved it.
There's like Paul and I watch
a picture of the vending
every day.
I think that's all that just like drop by in the middle of the night.
There was a full loaf of buttered garlic bread in that vending machine.
Hard, but raw though. You were supposed to bake it.
So funny.
I saw
We just had a little bit of spaghetti and meat sauce. We'd have it going,
I did get Pringles there one night though.
Oh, I did the like peanut snack things. They were really interesting. They were like sort of barbecue flavor with like a crunchy outside and then like peanuts inside. Yeah, they didn't suck.
Beautiful.
Jeff, their buildings are definitely older than the United States.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
All the buildings.
Older than anybody on this call.
Second location.
Second location. Yeah, we started calling that pub the second location.
The one on the corner.
The one on the corner.
Yeah, that was fun. So.
That was super fun.
Alice! The little British ladies.
Yeah.
Alice.
Yeah. Definitely missed Alice at Worlds for sure.
Yes. So I have to say that I had moments for the whole trip. Really, next time I'm not inviting him on the show. So anyway, here I was about to say something nice about you.
I'm listening.
So anyway, my first moment was when I could tell he was nervous on stage. So even though y'all may not know him very well, I could tell he was nervous because he did this thing. And yeah, he did that. And so when they showed his scores, that was like the best moment, and I was ready. I had the camera ready. And then my second moment lasted probably a couple hours because it was Sunday at the meeting. And I have to admit, and I might get a little teary-eyed because I did then, but to be able to be there as the co-founder and president of the only craft Whisker club, to be able to be there and be a member and vote, and then to see Christine be on there on the board, it just felt like it was history making itself. And it may not be, they're going to write it down in the world history books, but it was still in our world, that little piece of being a part of that history. So that
Yeah.
was
So
Completely agree.
maybe somebody needs to make a history of bearding book, like a world history of bearding, competitive bearding. Feel like that's an opportunity.
I do IT work, in case you're confused.
I didn't say you were
That
going to
sounds
make
like
it.
a
I'm
great
just saying
idea, Felipe.
someone
Go
should.
for it, Felipe.
I can't wait to
Hey,
All right,
whoa, whoa,
Patrick,
whoa.
we need 5 different pictures.
Congratulations. You're now an author.
I mean, there's got to be an author in the world of bearding, right?
You would think.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
There is. There's
Well,
got
you're
to
the
be.
librarian. Does he
I mean, I was
count?
gonna say Drew's a librarian.
All right, Drew, it's Drew.
Yeah,
Drew's writing the book.
I liked how we all kind of dispersed and went in different directions of Europe. It's like we invaded Europe. And we were in
But we still
Salzburg.
saw you on the corner in Salzburg.
Well, I was going to say, Paul and you guys went to Salzburg the day before us. And so we come pulling in on the car and we pulled up to that traffic light. And of course, we saw that big bushy beard. And I looked over there and I said, the Clinkin beards are standing right there on the corner.
Yeah. So
And so we're honking the horn. They're both going like this, trying to figure out what's going on. They look over, and Paul and I are in the window waving at them like this.
Yeah, we were on our way back from the police station.
Yeah, when we saw y'all, we were coming back from the police station.
Oh,
What did you do?
Is there a story
Yeah.
there?
So you all probably noticed as well, nothing opens early there. There's no 6 a.m. morning cafe.
Oh,
Those
no.
things don't open till like 9 or 10.
You were up that early?
Well, we went to go find a breakfast place or try to find a breakfast place, and it was like 9:30. Okay, and we're in Salzburg, obviously, and it's what?
Keep the story going.
I am. Anywho, and Sword was with us, Kurt, and anyway, we were, and as you all know, parking is terrible over there.
Oh,
And so
we have a story for you.
we get right down there close to the city center, all the historic stuff and everything, and there's a freaking parking spot. There's 2 cars there, and there's an open parking spot right behind them. Perfect.
Blue
And
lights
we
on
had
top?
parked. Huh?
They got blue
We
lights
had
on top of those cars.
Yeah, not yet. And we had parked in a couple of places and then scanned the sign with our Translate app and realized we shouldn't park there. But there was no signs, no nothing. We go find a restaurant, we eat breakfast, we come back. Where we pulled through, there's now one of those security bollards that came up out of the ground where we can't leave.
Right.
And then we go driving, we're driving on those cobblestone streets that everybody else is walking on.
That happened to us.
We went like 4 different directions, had to back up, literally back down the street, and pretty sure I got cussed out in German a couple times. And finally we find a delivery driver that's coming in, and he's got a remote for that little thing to go down. And he says, man, I will get in big trouble if I let you out. So you got to go to the police station. So we had to walk to the police station, pay €100 for them to give us the code to punch into the keypad for that thing to go down for us to leave.
€100?
Dang.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh,
so we found out that those things come up at 11:15. 11 o'clock, and it was like 11:30. We'd been there just a little bit too long.
Wow.
Exactly.
No, I'm here already. What's €100?
Oh,
When
I'm
we
glad I'm not the
parked
only one that
there,
got in
done.
trouble.
when we drove in, when we saw you guys, we were coming in to go to the hotel, and so Paul's navigating over on the app, and I'm driving the car, and they said, the navigation says turn here, and your destination is like to your right or something, or whatever the hell she says, and we turned right into a square with 200 people, and they're just walking straight at us.
Well, first we had to go through one of those bars that Shannon was talking about, but there was a button on the keypad for the hotel, so we hit it and the pole went down, so we drove in. The next thing we know, we're in the middle of this huge public square with just like schools of kids, running around in front of our car, and we're like inching our way through trying to figure out where our hotel is.
Wow.
Yeah, the gentleman that showed us where the police station was a delivery driver. He said, "Well, the hotel will give you the code." And I'm like, "We didn't stay at a hotel." And yeah, that was definitely, yeah. So when you honked at us, we were just kind of, okay, now we have a way to get out of here. So
Well, we found out that you have to pay to pick someone up at the airport in Munich. It costs €3 to pick anyone up at the airport in Europe.
You have 5 minutes free.
Yeah, under 5 minutes is free, but you can't pull up anywhere for free. You have to go through. You have to get a ticket and go through a gate. So we got the ticket, we went through the gate, and then our friend Håkon from Norway that we were picking up, he found us, but it was like 6 minutes or like 6.5 minutes. And I thought that you could just drive up to the gate and pay.
Ticket in and go.
And you can't. You apparently have to pay at a kiosk. You have to get out of your car and pay at a kiosk, and then go put the paid ticket in the gate. And so I didn't know that. So I'm up at the gate, and what looked like the credit card tap was who you call for help, but to have the little parentheses thing, I'm like, my card's not tapping, like what's going on? Now there's 2 exits side by side, but this like short bus, like travel bus pulls up, starts screaming at me in German, and I was like, I was gonna back out and get out of the way into a parking lot, but he like blocked me in, and I'm like, there's a whole nother exit you can go through. I'm sorry, sir. And he's just screaming at me in German, and I'm like, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't know what you're saying. And meanwhile, Chad had to get out of the car and go walk over to the kiosks and like pay that thing, and like the guy's just screaming and honking the whole time. And I was like, in the time that you did all this, you could have gone out the other exit, but whatever. Like, yeah. I was like, I've never been anywhere where you had to pay to pick somebody up at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ran into that paying at the kiosk thing in
Hallstatt, where we saw y'all at, you and Melissa.
Hallstatt, yeah.
Yep, we had the same thing. Pulled up to the gate, stuck my ticket thing in there. It wouldn't work, and I think I was cussing German. The same thing, I hit the button, and this guy comes on. He says, "Oh, you got to go back and pay at the kiosk. It's 20 meters behind you."
Why can't you just be there? You're already there.
Yeah, we had it all figured out, and then we went to Hallstatt. We must have been in a different parking garage. You hit the button, and it gave you a little colored token. And then I'm just like, okay, I can't lose this little orange token. And then when I went to go pay, you put it in, and then it reads a code somehow and tells you how much you owe, and then it spits the token back out. So I pay, and then I got the token again, and I'm like, well, I guess I pull up to the thing, and then you put the token in, and it raises the barrier and lets you out.
All right.
And people just know, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
one let's see what this does.
I should have learned to speak German before I went.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was really.
The thing we learned in Italy is that nobody comes to bring you your tab. So when you're done eating, you just go up to the register and tell them
what you ordered.
They just remember your table, like they basically remember you and everything you ordered. And like at the very first restaurant, we were like waiting and waiting. We were like, God, are they just not going to bring us our tab? And we had eaten like a bunch of food, and they were like, somebody walked over, they're like, did you want more food? Like, what could you possibly want, kind of thing? And we're like, we want to pay. And they're like, oh, you go up there. And we're like, okay, that's weird. And we thought it was just that restaurant. And then it was every single, like even the super nice restaurant, they would just be like, flag us down if you want a drink or something. Otherwise, if you're done, I'm like, you could have just walked out. Like, it was very trusting. We were like, this is really weird. Like, I guess nobody walks out on their tabs in Italy. You just go up and pay.
That's what, when I went to Italy into France, I experienced that same. It was like, if you wanted something, you had to go ask for it. Otherwise, you could sit at your table for 4 hours and, cool.
They gave us a slip of paper with the bottle of wine that we ordered. Like, oh, that's from the bar. So like I was expecting them to put down another, receipt with what we had ordered for food. So we were waiting for that. It's like, we just have the wine. We're all right. So we went up and they rang everything. It was just kind of Weird. Yeah.
So weird.
Compared to what we're used to here in the States. Yeah.
Right. I did think even like in Berghausen, like everybody was very trusting, like in the restaurants, and like Stu and Laura left their luggage outside the venue all day long.
Wow.
Yes.
Yep.
And nobody touched it.
Yep.
I mean, it was just like nobody, I didn't fear that like anybody was going to run off with our stuff ever, or, any kind of thing like that whatsoever. So
our hotel didn't ask for any kind of, like when we made the reservation, they didn't ask for any kind of credit card to hold the room.
Nope.
In fact, we even were calling several times to make sure we still had a reservation.
Yeah.
Then when we got there, they were like, "Yeah, just pay when you're done."
Yeah, ours told us that too, I think, and it was just like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
And they don't.
That too. We were walking by jewelry stores, and they leave the jewelry out by the window at
That's
night.
surprised me too.
We don't do that here.
We were like at a market and there was a bus stop and a whole rack of shoes, and I'm like, do you think these shoes just like disappear as the buses get closer? It's just like,
well, it's like we took the train back from Berghaus in Munich Sunday, bought our tickets at the kiosk, and no one bothered checking our tickets.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like that in Berlin too. They don't check any of that. They just let you.
Yeah.
We had one.
If you didn't get there in time to check in, they were taking the room keys and taping them on the outside of the door for people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that here.
Bye, Alice.
Bye, Alice.
We hope so too.
We took several trains in Italy, and only one of them the guy was checking tickets, and he was like literally like at the door. It was like not like a fancier train.
It was not like a fancier train.
Oh. It's like here's and he wouldn't let this one group of girls were running up, but they didn't buy their tickets already. He wouldn't let them on because it was going to delay the train too much.
Doody 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 doody.
I muted her. It's probably Miss Hackman, so I muted her until she comes back.
Oh.
So go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine.
So I don't know if I would recommend getting a camper van in Europe. Or it was fun. It was a lot of fun, but like the travel time for everything was a little like it took us. It was a minimum of 2 hours to get into Berlin, and we were right outside of Berlin. But it was just, and parking that thing was not the easiest. So.
You would not have been able to park at our last hotel.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like even driving through Berghaus was like nuts.
Yeah, our last hotel, the guy was like, "Where do I park the car?" And he goes, "Oh, there's a garage around back." Okay, cool. So I pull out, I go around back, and I miss the tiniest little turn in. And I look back, and I was like, "Oh, I see the door. It's some European thing. It's just a tiny little door."
Yeah.
Turn around and go back. And and it literally a 90-degree turn.
He's like Austin Powers-ing it in.
Yeah. And so they open the door, and it's not a garage, it's an elevator. So I have to pull the car into the elevator and then roll the window down and literally press an elevator button.
The walls are
serious.
Oh my God. Elevator.
Wow.
The stanchions came up behind you.
Where were you parked?
That's where we parked overnight. Yeah. So we went down.
Insane.
We were in the basement. The basement was so low that when you open the little hatchback to get your luggage out, Melissa had to hold it so it wouldn't bang the ceiling. To get the luggage out.
You were in the dreaded confines dungeon area.
No, like I don't want to say anything because he's already nervous, and like the walls of the elevator have so many scuff marks on them. Like,
that's funny.
Wow.
How did you get out of the car?
Well, once you come down, you drive out. You go down the elevator and then you drive into the basement, and then it's a parking lot. But
hey,
but
can I ask?
A little parking lot.
How many of you guys had stick shifts or manual transmissions? Nobody. So our camper van was, and I had not before this driven a stick in like 10 years. So I had to like reteach myself how to drive a manual vehicle. in this fucking giant camper van going through these tiny roads. Like, I'm pretty sure my wife was about to have a stroke.
Wow.
And she said she was not keeping her cool. And I'm like, dude, I got to drive this thing. You got to keep your cool so I can keep my cool. Like, come on.
I kept my cool. I mean, I totally kept my cool. I'm just going on record. I kept my cool the whole trip about driving.
Yeah, I need you.
I went into full blown panic when we were in the middle of the square with people all around us.
Oh, that was yeah, I was having a breakdown.
Those of you that went to Salisbury, you know the big cathedral square, the big cathedral that's there in the middle of town. That square is where we were driving through.
Oh wow! Yeah, you went way deeper in the pedestrian area.
This can't be right. This cannot be the right place that we need to go.
Yeah, we had the Pope's parking space, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, Google Maps helped a lot, but was not useful for, like, we were going up a mountain and she wanted us to turn left and we need to go right, and left would have been down the mountain, like down the cliffside. Like, no.
Oh Lord.
How do you think this is a good idea?
Yeah, U-turns for sure.
Wow. I wondered how the GPS was on the cars when you guys rented cars, if it was hard to navigate or if it was easy.
Most of the time it was pretty
We didn't really
accurate.
have any issues with the GPS stuff, no.
Yeah,
it was all right.
After
it was more the directions from people.
After we saw the Klinkenbeards and we pulled into that square where there was 5 million kids, we ran into Eric, Choate, and Jason, and Allie.
Yeah, we just had
Paul rolls the window down and Paul goes, "Hey, hey!" He's screaming out the
Help
window.
us! Where do we
They
go?
were who we were having breakfast with. So they had gone for breakfast with us to see you guys.
Yeah, we hung out with them the
Yeah.
next day. We hung out with them and went some places with them. It was a lot of fun. And we, Paul, I think you need to tell them the cheese tray story.
It's already out on Facebook. We don't need to.
The cheese tray.
Exact.
Oh,
thing.
yes.
So we went to a beer garden and we had already eaten and the rest of the people were ordering food. So I just ordered a cheese platter, thinking something to snack on. Everything was perfectly cut in little triangle wedges and it was all just spread out. So I pick up a little wedge that had like an herb dusting on it and take a bite out of it. And David asked me, "Is it good?" I'm like, "Well, it's really creamy." So he takes a bite out of the other wedge. He goes, "This is butter."
Oh, butter. This is not cheese.
It was creamy.
Well, they had it. The butter was cut just like the cheese. It was in these little.
It was the same size wedge as all the other cheese pieces on there.
That's so good.
We were so tired. We were walking around all day. I'm like, "This is butter. This is not cheese." They gave you bread too.
Well, I remembered as I'm eating this, thinking this doesn't taste like a cheese. I remember reading on there that it says butter and cheeses, and I was like, "This is butter. This is not cheese." Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but the thing is, I didn't realize it was butter until somebody told me it was.
You can't believe it's not butter?
When we were in
that,
Salzburg,
everybody, is why they're on separate computers tonight.
it was
Paul went for the second piece of butter. That's
the butter story ruined my life. I will never go back there. But everywhere we went, people were like, when we were in Salzburg, this lady walks up to us and she goes, "Is there like a beard convention in town? What's going on?"
Because everyone from Berghausen to Salzburg.
Yeah, basically. And then we ran into that same woman in Vienna.
Yeah, we ran into Joe Mills. Joe Mills was there. Who else was there, Paul, in Salzburg? We ran into
Jason. Eric. And we had a couple big groups at the beer gardens each night.
We went up to this beer garden that was kind of not in the touristy area. You had to like walk up this long street and go around, and We posted a video of it. It was like the biggest beer garden I have ever seen in my entire life. I couldn't believe how many people were in there.
Well,
Crazy.
I have to say that, we've got beer garden table on the back porch as it was advertised at the antiques fair. So at least I felt reassured that the money I'd paid for beer garden table is really truly a beer garden table. It was just like what was Germany beer garden. So, and you have to come to You Matter to see my true beer garden table now. So.
I don't think any of the
Or
rest of
y'all
you
can come anytime, for a weekend getaway if you want.
Yeah.
Where at in Texas are you guys?
LaGrange, we're right smack between Austin and Houston.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Well, I want to do a barbecue tour sometime in the next couple of years. So whenever I do, I'm hitting you up for sure.
We're not very far from Lockhart, and Lockhart is the barbecue capital of Texas.
Yeah.
Yep, we're about an hour away from there. So you can make this your base camp.
Sounds awesome.
And,
cigars and barbecue sounds like a fucking fantastic trip.
Cigar barbecue.
I like that. Cigar barbecue.
Yeah, it happens around here often. What, are you messing with my clicker again?
I'm showing comment.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Cajun's going back to watching baseball. Are we that boring?
Bye, Cajun.
In LSU baseball.
Let's see.
Oh,
I like that we're all reading.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking. We're just reading the comments. Thanks. I'm glad you're proud of my 6th place.
I got a 7.
7.
4 out of 4 here. Hey, but I did it. I don't remember doing it, but I did it.
Right. I think that's the main thing. Like going and doing it, like just the experience was so much fun.
Oh,
It's so good. Yeah, I think everybody should do it. I mean, it's
100%.
Yeah.
Like what you were talking about earlier, I think they said there were 28 countries represented. So to see people from all of those different places.
Yeah. That's what amazing. Like the day of the freestyle stuff, like when we were outside and it's like one person walks up and it's like, oh my gosh, everybody converges and takes pictures, and then the next guy, and it's just like it was like one better like freestyle after another. That was awesome to see just how amazing some of those guys were, and just all the people that flocked.
Dude, we got the top 2 freestylers. Come on, how cool is that?
I'll tell you what, when
US killed it.
Lawler came out there, I was like, oh my God. I have never seen anything that intricate.
Dude,
like,
that was pretty amazing.
That was
so impressive.
It was on point.
Oh, I couldn't imagine how long it took him to do that.
10 hours?
Wow. What?
Yeah, it took him a while.
Yeah, he said something like it was like 8 or 10 or something like that.
Because he only uses
mustache wax. Yeah.
He said it was a wax and pomade mixture he was using.
Yeah. He said it would have been faster because he had ordered more hexagon shapes, but they didn't arrive before he left for the trip. So he only had one form. He was going to have 3, so he could do 3 at once, and only one set came, so he could only do literally 1 at a time. Yeah.
Cardi took second.
Yeah, Cardi took second. Yeah.
He did awesome. And just so you know, my wife braided his hair, so she had a part of that. Just kidding.
Yeah, he looked really good too.
So I tried chanting USA when we got the top 2 freestylers, like USA, but nobody joined me. I don't think anybody understood it.
Like other countries all have their own, and obviously DCWC has their own presence, but I feel like we do need to get more of a USA or a USA presence. Going on, because DCWC can't be the most obnoxious ones in the group.
Well, I was telling the Brits, even in the States, like the callbacks are really just East Coast up to like Detroit's about as far as it go. The West
Fuck
Coast
you.
clubs
Oh,
don't
sorry.
do callbacks. Yeah, so the West Coast clubs don't do callbacks, and then like
Really?
nobody outside the U.S. does callbacks because the Brits are like, "What do you guys?" I'm like, "Oh, it's our callbacks." They were like, "What is that?" I was like, "Well, the club, you call something out and your club replies," and they're like, "That was like we've never heard that. That was like not a thing."
The Brits put on pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was like, "We gotta start it now."
These guys
I'm
are
not
really
allowed.
They're so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm banned from chanting it. At Worlds, anyways.
Some of the French team, and they were so fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we
on the
need
parade,
that.
it got crazy with the chanting back and forth.
Do I?
Yeah.
On the parade on Sunday, those guys went nuts with the whole chanting thing. Yeah, the British group, the French group, there was the Mad Viking group, and they were all, battling.
Yes, that was a thing.
I have it on video.
Do you?
Yes.
Derby City Whisker Club does their best work on Sunday at the parade. That's our time.
During awards, you guys were doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I was happy you were chanting.
Thank you. We do. We came to play.
Well, guys,
Oh, you know
we
the
have
other
5
thing
minutes left. I really thought we'd go over, but we do have 5 minutes left on the show, and so what?
I'm just looking at you.
Usually he looks at me with purpose. So
We're in trouble for that all the time, too.
It is a pretty intense look.
Can I just say I hope to see you all in Detroit next year for Great American.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we will be there.
What
It'll
date?
be don't leave your luggage out in front of your hotel. Don't leave valuables in your vehicle.
Hotel stew.
What dates might
It's perfectly okay not to leave
September
a note on the
21st.
car.
September 21st, 2024. It's gonna be fun. We have a lot planned for it, but I won't steal the show for talking about that.
No, plug it.
We'll be there. David's also from
The
Detroit.
next Great American.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I mean, the host hotel's at a casino, within walking distance of the venue. The venue is I think the oldest and largest. It's definitely the largest Masonic temple in the U.S. It's also haunted, so that's cool.
Wow.
I'm working on setting up a tour of it, so
That's
it'll
so cool.
it's gonna be a good weekend.
Awesome.
I'll be
We
all
won't-
over that.
Yeah, we won't be doing like our normal, like, cause usually like for our regular comp we have like burlesque and stuff, but obviously we won't be doing that for Great American because it's an all ages event. We won't be doing our chants, and I don't know, I don't know if I can trust all of my members.
I was
but-
gonna say good luck.
Yeah.
It is our home
I don't
city. I don't
think that's
know.
gonna happen.
I'm gonna encourage them not to, but I can't always keep them in line.
That's a job.
Yes. Good God. You have no idea.
well, I really appreciate you guys coming on tonight, and it's so much fun. And I will have a follow up to this, I'm very sure. So, but yeah, just I really appreciate y'all coming on and telling stories, and it made me so very happy. So, but
I mean, it's amazing to see everyone all together. Like some folks I hadn't seen it since the before times. So it's just kind of nice to see everyone collected together again, and overseas, because that's just kind of fun in its own respect.
I think Christine said it best when I was talking to her this week, and she's like, it's kind of like summer camp. Like you go and you have this like really intense experience with some amazing people, and then you all leave and go scatter to the wind, but then you come back together and it's like no time is lost. And it's definitely had that feeling. Yeah. And then you make new friends, and then you know, it was a good time.
Yeah.
I made a new friend. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say post-comp blues was hit hard for this one.
Yeah.
It's the sads.
I made a new friend from Hungary that had some homemade plum moonshine.
Wow.
Interesting.
The Brits were like, the guy from Hungary's trying to kill me.
I mean, the booze out of the back of the van.
Yeah.
Nice.
Van shots with the Hungarians. Welcome to the world.
Yes.
It's a good time. You know, I think that we should incorporate in future worlds a medal count for each country.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome. Just to
Pittsburgh would be a little awkward, but yeah.
You know, like the pride for each country going like your USA chants. I think that would be so fun.
Like they do at the Olympics.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I think about is the
That's a
Olympics
really
when we
good
do
idea.
Worlds.
Yeah.
Well, and even a participant count. It'd be
Well,
cool
we
to
got,
see.
you know,
Oh,
we
yeah.
kind of got a
Yeah.
vice president here still.
Yeah.
No.
There's here, right?
So, well,
You know, we could test it out the Great American too, see if it works there or not. Just an
yeah,
idea.
we could do it by state.
Yeah.
Great American.
Yeah, we totally could.
Yeah. That'd be kind of fun.
Making me keep track of more things.
More in number.
Prize for the furthest competitor.
I love responsibility, guys.
You're welcome.
Why we're all here, right?
Anytime we can help add to things, you have to. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for, like I said, joining us. It's been a blast. You're welcome to come back on any show to talk about whatever you want. We're always welcome on the show. And I know we had some people that couldn't be on tonight that wanted to talk about Worlds. So I'll also let you guys know when they're going to be on, which is probably not really sure because of the holiday, but July 3rd is our next show. So, but that is, you know, kind of the holiday, the weekend. So not quite sure what's going to happen, but anyway, again, I can't thank you guys enough. I had a blast and I miss you already. And I'm glad everybody's safely home. And now all you have to do is, like us, we're sitting here thinking, oh gosh, it's already past our bedtime. You know? What are we going to do? We got a show. We're going to stay up past our bedtime. What are you talking about? But what else? Nothing else.
I think that it, you know, just like, you know, just reminded me what, you know, she just said about the medal count. I think that the USA was very well represented.
Yes.
Yeah.
So too.
Very well represented.
I was impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, and it's for most of us, I believe it's not just like, well, obviously we didn't really have more than a week, but still we treated it more of a trip and a family reunion than just a competition, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah.
So
I would like to say
Chad
that I'm
was
pretty.
saying
Oh. So I think my wife is actually sucked in now. Like she's only really been to
Family.
Arcon, but now she's like she was into it. So.
Awesome.
and Todd, were you gonna say something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I remember when we were there, like we had a lot of fun. Like it was sad we had to be kind of responsible on Saturday night. Like it was like 12:30 or something. Like we have to get up and be at the WBMA meeting in like, you know, 7 hours and then still like pack and eat breakfast and load the car and drive there. And like, oh, but we just want to hang out with our friends.
Yeah.
Some of us weren't too responsible.
I was really like, I told him, I was like, it's so funny that we got to hang out with some of the people from the US that we don't even get to see that much, like Chad Heaney and Paul and Dave, you know, and it's like, you know, we don't get to go to the same comps so much because we're spaced out so far.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like I've seen you guys in foreign countries more than in our own.
So So yeah, keep sharing. I know you guys still probably have pics and videos that you haven't shared yet. I think yesterday finally got to ours. So, all right. Well, I'm going to close it for tonight. And
All right.
like I said, you guys,
Hi, guys.
let you know when our next one is, and you can join us again.
Well, thank you for having us on.
Bye, guys. Have a good evening.
Bye, guys.
Love y'all.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Thanks.
Maybe I'll end it. I can click the right button.